What if one of the largest territories ever recorded in human history didn't fall to war, didn't collapse from within, and wasn't destroyed by conquest? What if it simply faded away, not from the land itself, but from our collective memory? Between the 1500s and the 1800s, maps across Europe consistently told the same strange story. A vast region spanning Eastern Europe, Siberia, and deep into Asia appeared again and again under one name, Tartaria, sometimes labeled as Grand Tartary. These were not obscure or speculative charts. They were official maps created by respected cartographers from France, the Netherlands, Germany, and Britain. For more than 3 centuries, these mapmakers, working independently across rival nations, depicted Tartaria in nearly identical locations. Some maps even divided it into regions such as Independent Tartary, Chinese Tartary, and Russian Tartary. This consistency is difficult to dismiss as coincidence. It suggests that Tartaria was, at the very least, a recognized and meaningful designation in historical geography. And yet, by the early 1800s, something strange happened. The name Tartaria began to disappear from maps. Not slowly, not gradually, but abruptly. Within a short span of time, a territory that once dominated Eurasian cartography vanished almost entirely. Modern atlases contain no reference to it. Geography textbooks barely mention the term at all. This raises a troubling question. How does a landmass this enormous simply disappear from the historical record? As Tartaria faded from maps, another mystery began unfolding across the world. In the late 1800s, monumental buildings began appearing across Europe and North America. Government palaces, train stations, exhibition halls, libraries, and entire city centers were constructed with extraordinary scale and precision. Many of these structures featured massive stone blocks, towering columns, ornate domes, and symmetrical designs that still impress modern engineers. What makes this even more puzzling is the speed at which many of these buildings were allegedly constructed. Official records claim that some were designed and completed in just a few years, timelines that would challenge even today's advanced construction methods. The question naturally arises: where did the knowledge, resources, and skilled labor come from so suddenly? Take San Francisco as an example. In 1906, the city suffered one of the most devastating earthquakes in modern history. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to rubble. Yet, within a remarkably short period, San Francisco was rebuilt with grand architectural structures that continue to stand today. The recovery appears almost too efficient, too precise, given the scale of destruction. A similar mystery surrounds Chicago's World's Columbian Exposition of 1893. Historical records state that over 600 acres of elaborate neoclassical buildings were designed and constructed in just 2 years. The Manufactures and Liberal Arts Building alone was the largest structure in the world at the time. Its interior space could fit several iconic landmarks simultaneously. And yet, according to official accounts, this architectural marvel was temporary. After the fair ended, these extraordinary buildings were demolished. The explanation given was simple: they were never meant to last. But this explanation leaves many uneasy. Why invest such immense effort and resources into structures only to destroy them almost immediately And why do photographs of these buildings resemble permanent stone architecture rather than temporary constructions? As researchers dig deeper, another pattern emerges. Walk through older cities today, and you'll notice buildings that appear to be sinking into the ground. Windows at street level that clearly once belonged to upper floors. Doorways leading underground. Entire floors that no longer align with modern streets. In cities like Seattle, entire neighborhoods were discovered beneath the current city level. Mainstream historians explain this as the result of gradual urban development. Streets rise over time. Cities rebuild on top of themselves. Yet critics argue that the scale doesn't always make sense. In many cases, entire floors appear to have been buried beneath layers of earth, not simply built over. This observation gave rise to what some researchers call the Great Mud Flood hypothesis. The idea that a large-scale geological or environmental event buried cities across the world during the 1800s. While mainstream history does not support this theory, the physical evidence continues to spark debate. Adding to the mystery is the remarkable consistency in architectural style across continents. Buildings in Chicago, Paris, St. Petersburg, and San Francisco share strikingly similar design features. Classical columns, symmetry, identical proportions. This raises another question. How did such uniform design principles spread so widely, so quickly, across nations that were often political rivals? Then there are the star-shaped fortifications found across Europe, Asia, and the Americas. Known as star forts, these structures exhibit extreme geometric precision. While officially classified as military defenses, some researchers suggest their design may have served purposes beyond warfare. Their angles, proportions, and placement hint at knowledge of geometry and resonance that feels unusually advanced for their time. Acoustics provide yet another layer to the puzzle. Step inside many grand buildings from this era, and you'll notice something remarkable. Sound carries effortlessly. Voices resonate with unusual clarity. Some argue these features were purely aesthetic or functional. Others believe they point to a deeper understanding of sound, vibration, and resonance. Modern science has shown that sound frequencies can influence matter at a molecular level. They can shatter materials, move objects, and alter physical properties. This has led some to speculate that ancient builders may have understood principles we are only now beginning to explore. As theories grow bolder, another question emerges, one that makes many uncomfortable. Who were the people who built these massive structures? Some researchers point to unusually large doorways, towering ceilings, oversized furniture, and architectural proportions that seem excessive for average human use. Historical newspapers from the 1800s occasionally reported discoveries of unusually large human skeletons during construction and mining projects. Many of these reports mention remains measuring far beyond average human height. Today, however, these findings are notably absent from museum collections. According to skeptics, these reports were either exaggerated or misinterpreted. According to others, the disappearance of these remains raises serious questions. Why are such discoveries no longer openly discussed? Why do nearly all ancient cultures contain legends of giants, from the Nephilim of biblical texts to the Titans of Greek mythology? Perhaps these stories are symbolic, or perhaps they are fragments of cultural memory. As the mystery deepens, attention turns to the broader historical timeline. The late 1800s and early 1900s were marked by catastrophic events: massive fires, earthquakes, wars, and pandemics. Mainstream historians view these as tragic but unrelated occurrences. Others wonder whether these events may have conveniently erased physical evidence of an earlier world. Historical photographs add yet another unsettling detail. Images of major cities from the late 19th century often show wide streets and grand boulevards nearly empty of people. The conventional explanation is long exposure times and slower-moving populations. While plausible, the scale of emptiness continues to fuel speculation. So what was Tartaria? A misunderstood name for loosely connected regions? A forgotten system of governance? Or simply a chapter of history rewritten and simplified over time? We may never know the full truth, but one thing remains clear. History is not only shaped by what survives, but also by what disappears. And sometimes, the absence of answers speaks louder than the records themselves. Welcome to Legends of Time.